Have you ever felt overwhelmed by analytics? How have you kept your mental in check when it comes to looking at those numbers, especially when they're less than favorable? Hello, and welcome to the non-hair related side of my channel. I understand that it's really important as a content creator to have a niche, but I also understand that none of us is a monolith, and so it's okay for me to lend my knowledge and wisdom and expertise in other areas of my life and invite you to talk about it too. So in this video, we're going to be talking about content creation and mental health. Because even though content creation appears to be this embellished thing, there are also very much unflattering sides of it. And today we're going to focus specifically on obsessing over analytics and the pressure that comes with performance. Let's get into the video. If you are a content creator, this is going to sound very familiar to you. So the entire content creation process is tedious, from researching the topics and the amount of work that goes into that to finally finding a topic and then scripting the video, or at least putting together an outline of how the video is going to go, to filming the video, which takes time. You finally film the video and then you have to edit the video, which takes more time. And then after you edit, you make sure everything looks good, you make sure that the thumbnail's created, it's relevant, it's compelling, and then you post the video. And this is where the anxiety begins. Monitoring those analytics. This is for any content creator out there, whether it is YouTube that you do or TikTok or Instagram. The process usually looks like this. And so when it comes to monitoring analytics, you're looking at the video performance. How is it doing? How are the views? Especially in the first, let's say 7 days. Let's even say first day. Sometimes if you're like, your obsession is that unhealthy, you start tracking how things are looking like on day one. Are people watching the videos? Are any comments coming in? What is the click-through rate? Is your thumbnail compelling enough? Are people subscribing because I've posted this particular video? Are people sharing this particular video? And how is it comparing to my other videos? Is this performing much better? Is it performing less? Are people liking this better? Are people commenting on this better? And then you're looking at view duration, because that's how you get those watch time hours. Are people sticking around once they click the video, or are they clicking the video realizing that this is not what I'm looking for and jumping off, and then you're not really getting that watch time hours? And so you start to track you start to track these numbers. It's healthy, but it becomes an unhealthy thing when we start obsessing about it. And I think especially as new content creators, that's something that we do a lot of times subconsciously, and it takes such a toll on us. And of course, I didn't even talk about this. The overarching long-term goal is that we want to be able to get a return on all of this time and effort that we're investing. So whether for you it's affiliate links, people actually clicking on those affiliate links and purchasing so you get profits, or maybe it's sponsorships, or position yourself in a way where brands will go, you know what, her videos appear to be performing really well and people are engaging a lot, so I'm gonna reach out to her. So on top of everything else that content creators have to really think about, we also have to track business. And so I think that's when we start to get into this really dark, deep hole, when we try to balance the passion with the business side of things, and then we kind of lose ourselves. So content creators are also not exempt from imposter syndrome, right? Where you have this fear of incompetence, fear of failure, and then you start to isolate yourself from the things that you really enjoy doing. You start to get into this place where like burnout is almost normal for you, especially if you've been watching videos and other people's journeys that, you know, especially these like clickbait titles that talk about how you can get 1,000 subscribers in 1 week, or maybe how I got 1,000 subscribers in 2 days, how I converted this amount of people in this little time. All these really unrealistic expectations that we set because we see it happening for other people, and so we feel like, well, if it's happening for them, why can't it happen to me? Not really keeping in mind that everybody's journey is different, and this right here is not a sprint. It's a marathon. It's a journey. And so there's a lot of internal battles that content creators go through behind the camera that they don't really talk about enough of. And mostly because it's driven by the pressure to perform and to deliver, like we talked about. But thankfully, mental health awareness is becoming a lot more prominent among the content creator industry, because it wasn't always like this. And so you can always look up all of the support groups and all of the resources that are available to you. But in the meantime, here are a couple of reminders for myself that I'm keeping in mind that I felt like I could probably share with you as well, especially if you're in the same boat. Reminder number 1, and I wrote them down and that's why I keep looking this way: set boundaries for checking analytics. So rather than checking your analytics constantly, set specific times to review your analytics. So whether it is once a week, whether it's after a major upload, whether it's once every 2 days, and these are your boundaries. So apart from that, we're not doom scrolling through the analytics and through those numbers. Number 2, we're going to be shifting the focus from numbers to content. We're going to be asking ourselves, are we creating for the algorithm or for the community that we're trying to build? Then we're going to be focusing on the joy that comes from making videos and the joy that comes from resonating with our audience, no matter how small that audience is. Number 3, I'm going to be redefining success. So more specifically, we're going to be defining success in ways that go beyond numbers. For example, if I'm trying to improve my editing skills, the heartfelt message from a viewer, someone saying, you know what, when you said this, I felt that. Or like looking at the progress that I'm making in creating thumbnails. And this is something that I've realized I really enjoy to do, even though it takes a lot of time. I love creating thumbnails. It just puts me in this flow state. And when I've done a thumbnail that I'm really proud of, I'm like, you know what? A win is a win. It shouldn't always be quantifiable. Sometimes it's just how proud you make yourself. Because at the end of the day, like, that's happiness and life is short. Period. We're going to be limiting comparison. Comparison is the killer of what? Comparison is the killer of what? Is the killer of joy. Everyone's journey is unique, and what is working for someone else or appears to be working for someone else might not work for you. Be real with yourself. Nadia, be real with yourself. And the next one is that we're going to look at the big picture. We're going to be focusing on longevity. Content creation is not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's a journey. So we're not looking for temporary spikes in views and temporary spikes in subscribers. We're looking at the long-term like community that we've been able to build. People that actually look forward to post to our videos when we post them. People that have their notification bells turned on, where it's like when we post, they're the first ones to show up. They're the first ones to comment. People that are like, oh my God, I've been waiting for you to do this video. People that are contributing and like, you know what, I want to see this next. So yeah. And then the next point, this one is actually a really big one. Taking breaks and practicing self-care. Really understand the point of taking breaks. Doing non-content creation activities that still bring you joy. Things that recharge you, where it doesn't feel like your worth, your value, your existence is tied to just this one thing. That's why there's a lot of talk around work-life balance. That's why there's weekends where it's like you can work during the weekdays, but then during the weekends, you're supposed to be resting. We're going to avoid burnouts. Burnouts is also the killer of joy. So second to the last point is we're going to be seeking support from other content creators, other people who've gone through the journey and who are going through the journey. How are they navigating the pressure of performance and delivery and analytics? Can they teach us to prioritize some things that we really aren't? Are we losing sleep over brainstorming on the next video? Sleep in and of itself is needed in order for your brain to function at its highest capacity. What are we compromising? That's really, really important for us to deliver in a way that doesn't take away from our own health. Being intentional about seeking circles and spaces of like-minded people. And then the final point is we're going to be reminding ourselves of the bigger picture. I think I touched on this before, but I just really think this is so important, because that's something I'm seeing also with myself, where it's like I have to remember that analytics and numbers, they don't define my worth. as an individual or as a content creator. Sometimes it's just that your videos are not getting fed to the right audience. It's not that your video sucks, you know, and sometimes your video does suck. Sometimes your thumbnail does suck, but it also doesn't define your worth, and it doesn't define the value that you're trying to get out there. So really separating the two and not taking things personally is really important. If there is anything that you feel that I've missed or that's working for you and I didn't mention it, please drop it in the comments. I hope to see you around much more, and see you in the next video.